on your crew sheet here, we have what's called the claims matrix, or just a list of claims that you guys can acquire to increase the power and ability of your crew, as well as increase your reach over Doskvol itself. For right now, you picked that are your hunting grounds, are they in Charter Hall, actually? Did we decide on that? I thought we decided on that. Just like
where
the government offices and stuff.
Yeah. That's one of our descriptions, or we're bold.
You're daring, yeah.
We're daring, yeah.
I throw a pile of sewing needles, and then we use them to poke out.
Oh, yeah, little pieces on this map.
All the little, with
the targets.
That's
are
very cinematic.
Like, I'd imagine that, shoot.
Is there like a tapestry map on the wall that has been made, and then you're just like putting the pins in it?
Yeah.
I'd imagine that Caelin and Marco have helped you with like setting up this like string of like different places you could hit or like things like that.
Difficulty expected and
I have enough time to make my own map with strings on it.
So what does this hideout look like? Like, where do you guys spend your time?
I'm imagining like a basement room, like full of spare fabrics and stuff.
Yeah, it seems like
at the
you don't have
back
quarters yet, so you can't stay here. You have to go elsewhere. It's not It's not expanded
we couldn't even stay here because I see this place as like floor to ceiling with various different boxes and
I'm imagining
there's like a hidden door behind.
I'm imagining
boxes,
lots of like oil lamps and like candles that have melted down onto like
papers covering desks.
light that's dim enough that like if you did the work that you would be doing in here, you would be like fully expecting yourself to be like blind in a few years.
Like
dust particles in the air.
You can kind of barely see the floor a little bit.
Okay.
With just how strewn things are.
How things are strewn about. Arthur, what's the arcane influence like in this area near the tailor shop? Are there ghosts like floating around that you interact with frequently?
What neighborhood is this?
Night Market.
Oh, yes, tons.
Tons? Okay.
Yes, like this is
we are
where
near the Deathlands here.
The problem with the Night Market is that it is, I imagine that it's very much like the awesome Hong Kong Night Market, where you can run around in the streets, everything is available, and for some reason, because it's like tens of thousands of people every night buying and selling and eating dog, is like there's also tons of killing. And bodies like, oh, we're not going to burn this body because we're going to throw it in the sewer, and then like the ghost rises because no one can find it.
Dead prostitutes end up a lot.
So they're everywhere, and some of them are actually like friends of mine because they're kind of more. The ghosts in Night Market are high density, but also more confused than most of those. They're not generally like super violent. Most of them were killed either. They died sadly because they're poor people who just kind of wasted away and died at night. Or if they died violently in a way that they didn't even notice. Like, oh, their throat was just cut.
So because of the vast amounts of like dead people here, the spirit wardens and the members of the Bellwether Crematorium can't handle the load of
it's also not really worth their while. Like they care about it, but the cases that come up here just are not harming the people that paid the most taxes or worry about it most.
Okay, cool.
So they're not big news, they're not big story. They might come here to deal with quotas if they ever have
people around the area have kind of like found ways to like go about their business with all these things happening.
Yeah, so I should make something clear. Normally in this world, whenever somebody dies, unless you have somebody to stop it, there's a bell at Bellwether Crematorium that rings.
Yep.
So these bells ring at a lot of different points during the day.
Yep.
So the Death Seekers, the spirit wardens can know that somebody died. And then a crow flies out, an albino crow flies out from the Bellwether Crematorium towards the area where the person has died.
Yeah. Is there something on us for them to know?
It's not on any of the citizens. It's just magic. Okay. Yeah, the crows it's the ghost field, right? There's whenever somebody dies and this ghost begins to form, there's ripples that reverberate out through the ghost field, and the crows have a way of sensing that, so they can know. The albino crows have a way of sensing that.
I feel a deep,
it's very Hunger Games
connection to the albino crows, and I'm like, oh, maybe
it seems very Hunger
people
Games.
like me will someday be the albino crows. I shall be a crow.
It might like
three-eyed crow.
The crow.
There might be something to that.
I need you to make me the crow.
Because you've always felt like you could
does everyone
interact
want
with the ghost
an
field better than
animal,
most people.
No, I mean like the hero, the crow.
Oh
With
yeah.
the drippy makeup and everything.
Oh,
and
that
the leather,
crow. Oh,
the
okay.
crow.
It's like.
So you guys are gathered around this table trying to decide on what you're going to do next about your thing. So take a look here at the crew sheet here. We can pass it around and look at these claims. And you have a couple of choices there. There are roads that run from the central lair square out to connect to various positions, and you can choose which one of those to go for. Following the roads from the central lair square means that it's easier to acquire the things that are directly connected to your lair. But you can go, yes, but you can go for any of them. It just means that it's going to be more difficult, and I have the right to make it harder for you to gather information on those places and stuff. It also means that your enemies will probably be of higher tier, which really matters in this game when we're considering position and effect with rolls. Because, like, you guys are tier 0 right now. So if you encounter tier 1 or tier 2 people even, your effect against them will be, like, standard or limited, right? Getting great effect against them will require a very specific situational advantage because of your tier level.
It should be noted that whenever we have these meetings, that Arthur is always a little bit distracted because, number one, this place is so fun. Like, there's like costumes and fabrics and things to touch and look at, and sometimes Ghost will talk and he'll just like look off in the distance like he's talking to someone, and then he'll like hold up like another design that's like half drawn or something. It's like, it's this amazing outfit. So he's always a little bit not paying attention to like the serious work that's being done. So.
Okay. So alternatively, if you don't want to go for one of those claims, Caelin has recently gotten a letter, recently gotten communication from Ophelia, what secret way you guys communicate, saying that she has a job lined up for you. But you do know that given Ophelia's ties to the Lamp Blacks and the recent situation in Crowsfoot, it's probably going to be related to the current gang war that's brewing there. So I'll give you the rundown on that really quick. In Crowsfoot, there used to be there's this gang you guys know well, known as the Crows, because you have kind of a bad relationship with them. And they had a boss named Rorik, and Rorik was in charge of the gang, and he kept Crowsfoot in line. Everybody liked Rorik. The other gangs got along with him. He was a very good diplomat and negotiator. And his second in command, Lissa, recently murdered him. Just straight up killed him in a coup to take over power of the gang. So Rorik's ghost now haunts the district, and Lissa took over the Crows, but there was kind of this vacuum of power that was created due to Rorik's death, and in their weakness, the other two gangs of the district, the Lamp Blacks and the Red Sashes, jumped on the opportunity to seize what they could of Crowsfoot and maybe try to finally wrest it from the Crows' grasp. So there's currently this three-way gang war brewing in that district of the city, and it's gotten so bad that the Bluecoats don't like going there anymore because they get attacked and killed immediately. The citizens are scared to come out of their houses at night or even during the daytime. It's a mess. So you know that if you go with this thing with Ophelia, it'll probably be something relating to harming the Red Sashes or the Crows, right? Because she still kind of is affiliated with the Lamp Blacks. So you could answer her summons, show up and talk to her about what that job is, or you could look at your crew sheet and decide a claim. We can go from there. Here, I'll give you guys this, and then I'll turn to it in this book, and you guys can
do the. So why don't we get along with the Crows?
During character creation, you guys decided that some of the upgrades you received were acquired at the Crow's expense.
Right.
So I'd probably
the tools. Expense?
Yeah, so like the tools for your workshop, you probably stole from Crows and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have.
I was wondering if we could have been like friends of the guy who got murdered, and that would be like why we're
No, not friendly.
Yeah, no, friends with the one of the old leader. The Crows rose up and killed him.
Yep.
I mean, it wouldn't really make a lot of sense.
Because he wasn't doing anything about all these people encroaching on their territory.
Yeah, we have +3 with the bookworms and -2 with the Crows.
Yeah, he was super friendly, right? So Lissa probably wanted like more power, and he was like, "No, let's all exist peacefully, so we don't kill people, and the gangs just do what they want." And Lissa's more like, no, we're gonna take it all. Like she's power hungry that way.
And then we would be mad at the Crows and Lissa.
Yes, yeah, yes. So
does that make sense?
That can totally work if you guys want to do that. Let me explain something really quick about the factions before I go too much further.
Sure.
So faction ratings in this game go from +3 to -3, and every number in between of those integers.
Right.
When you are at -3 with any faction, you are at war with them. When you're at war with a faction, they seek to harm you. Don't try, James. It's impossible. I tried to get it fitted in there. When you're at war with a faction,
almost at war with
they seek to harm you. You can only take one downtime action, which means clearing your stress and heat is less efficient, and you have a lot of other bad stuff that happens to you when you're at war. So just a heads up with that. If you go to -3, it's a mess, right? It's officially like we're gonna mess you guys up. So what was your question?
Was Rorik so popular that the majority of the crows are actually still loyal to him and actually hate Lissa?
No. So one of the things that why the power vacuum was created is because she had to take time to weed out all the loyals to Rorik. So the crows mostly now follow her.
Okay.
But it gave the other gangs the opportunity to.
Okay.
So Havelock pointed out that one of the choices for the next thing to do
There's
is
a loyal fence, which is a +2 coin for burglary or robbery.
That's what I was looking at too.
Seems like
because
that's gonna be
I
similar.
love coins.
Yeah.
I love coins.
And
Give us
I
coins.
feel like we're gonna be doing a lot of burglary and
They
robbery.
are shiny.
I feel like.
I feel like that is very much up to the attitude of the things we like to do.
Yeah.
It's low key enough.
It didn't have anything about heat on it.
Yeah, I feel like turf is a little much to ask right now, considering how we're starting in a negative position as far as the.
I mean, you could gain. You could grab
crows
turf.
and
So
stuff.
you could grab turf from night market in night market at any chance.
Don't we need more of us in order to better use turf?
No, so turf. What turf does is you can level up your crew's tier by gaining a certain amount of rep, and gaining turf lowers the amount of rep you need to gain before you can go up to the next tier.
Oh, interesting. So the tiers are determined by our reputation.
Yes, and it's determined by reputation is like an experience track, and once you max it out, you pay a certain amount of coin to rise in tier. It's a very slow process.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes. So just one other thing to note about these claims: every claim in Doskvol is currently occupied by another faction. The city's too tightly packed, so you're gonna have to take something from somebody else to get what you want.
Mm-hmm. I literally just realized that my character is like the whole entire movie of the Bling Ring.
Yeah, we talked about that last
We did
time.
that last time.
I was like, oh my god.
I did.
All right. So I'm gonna reach towards your crotch and pull out this lever because it turns out it wasn't pulled out, which is why you're half of that thing keeps falling.
Okay.
So our other options.
It'll still keep sinking. You'll have to do it every once in a
Our
while.
other
I'm
options.
adjusting my side regularly.
Our other options besides the loyal fence are turf, covert drops, which are +2 coin for espionage or sabotage, or informants, which are +1 dice. I think that is to
That's not
gather
bad.
info for scores.
So
all of them help with our scores.
I
which-
kind of
like
know
the
from
info
the
one.
last game we
Info's good.
played, was there a penalty or a disadvantage to going beyond the connected ones?
the connected ones
It's harder
are
to
all
get those.
easier.
Okay.
Right. So our beginning layer starts in the middle of this grid, and the 4 I mentioned are all connected to,
Okay.
immediately to our layer.
It's also probably a good idea to think about like what's next to the thing next to it to see if there's something that we want to get to quicker
Here, you
by
guys
making
can
sure
look
that
at
we
too.
Right.
take a path.
The descriptions are on the
Oh, gotcha.
pages. You start at the layer square in the center.
Yeah.
Hagfish farm.
yeah,
Yeah, it's for body
Like,
disposal.
for body disposal.
Like, what do we want
In
to
case you
get
kill somebody
the
on a score.
most? Like, what's the most important thing out of all of these
Oh, healing is cool.
that we want?
Yeah, loyal fence is good, but it looks like if we get
It just goes to
informants,
turf.
we can go to infirmary next.
Yeah.
Or drug den.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
So I think
tier roll minus heat.
Although I don't know what we would do with a
Yeah.
hagfish farm.
So your tier roll,
Dump a
when
body
you roll
there.
when you roll your tier, you roll
Oh,
a
I
number of
see.
d6 is equal to
it's
your
got
tier.
a thing.
You guys are tier 0, so you'll roll
Gotcha.
2d6, take the lower, and then depending on how
Or
much
they
heat you
after
have,
killing someone.
heat you get from scores down here, you subtract that, and that's coin. So in this case, you take 5 because it's
Small
lower
coins.
dice, and
Mhm.
minus any heat, that's how much coin you get.
Shadows.
Interesting. Well, that's pretty good.
It's a constant income, right?
That's
Oh.
pretty cool. I am all for having constant income. That's what
Yeah.
I'm all about.
I'm cool with that.
Um,
Sure.
Yeah.
But whether that's drug den or gambling den,
Now that's not directly
Um,
connected. You have to get to it.
it's connected to turf or informants.
Right.
Informants would be more interesting than turf to go for right away. If we're going either of
flexible
those
with anything.
directions.
Let's just flip a coin.
I feel like since we haven't really
And-
had many
and
interactions
loyal
in this
fence-
world, going into a situation
We should
where,
have some interactions.
and that's why I'm interested in informant.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Informants. Yay!
Okay, going for an informant.
Well,
I heard the others say informants, and I'm a team player.
Okay.
I like what the adults like.
Cool. +1d for gathering. Okay, cool. So gathering informants. So your hunting grounds is in Charter Hall. Is that where you're going to try to gather? So your informant will probably assist you anywhere in the city, but they'll be most effective in the district you get them
will
from.
definitely want them from Charter Hall.
Okay, so in your hunting grounds, you can establish this.
Yeah,
And Marco already has
especially
that lady likes him at City Hall, right?
Yeah, Petra already has a thing for you.
Oh, that is in Charter Hall.
Yeah, she's part of the city council there, which could help you on gather information. But an informant could be somebody who's like in with like a magistrate or somebody who would like whisper things in your ear, that sort of thing. Yeah. I just need to know the district you guys are getting this person from, because then I can establish the score.
Sure, and it should be Charter Hall.
Charter Hall? Okay.
Especially since we don't live in Charter Hall. We don't operate out of Charter Hall.
Yeah.
We're gonna have, we're not gonna need an informant in Night Market as much as we are in Charter Hall.
I also feel like we all have regular reasons to be at Charter Hall, which makes,
because
like,
I go
showing up
there to pretend to be a City Hall employee, so I can get information.
And Caelin works for the government.
Yeah.
And you can sell fancy clothes in this district.
Yeah.
I'm rich.
And you're rich.
Isn't this like the district where the police are?
This is where City Hall is. I don't know where police are.
The police would hang around there a lot. Yeah, there are
We were
a whole bunch
talking
of police
about that,
patrols.
yeah.
There's patrols in the Brightstone as well, and Six Towers. This whole area is kind of like high police patrol area.
Where's the police station?
The police stations are there are multiple. There's one in each district, and they're competitive, and they can sometimes be viciously competitive with each other. That's often encouraged among the officers. Sometimes they work together, but yeah.
Where would the central headquarters be?
Probably in White Crown.
Okay.
White Crown or Charter Hall. I have to figure that out.
Every month, most arrests, free pizza party.
So I'm wondering where
it's stuff like that.
Where the department
bonus is determined by arrest rate
that I was burned by would be. Would that be most likely in White Crown?
You can decide that.
Okay, that would. I mean, it would make most sense for it to be there because it's
right where the governor would be and at the heart of the whole.
Well, yeah, they're like a special department for interacting with feds. Basically.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
put out 300 fires this month. We win again.
Yeah. Cool. So you guys want to go for an informant. And you want an informant who's probably going to be able to give you info about for your future thieving scores you can do in the city, right?
Yes.
You want somebody who knows when people are going to be out of their houses, knows the schedules and stuff like that.
Somebody who
something a little
can have
more...
details about the way people look would be important.
Yeah.
We need a sanitation worker, a street cleaner, a lamplighter. We need someone who is around these people's houses and sees their daily patterns.
Yeah, but somebody who wouldn't be noticed by people who are wealthy. Yeah, exactly.
Cable installer.
Street sweeper.
Well, you want somebody who's already kind of established within the...
Right, so somebody who, does the plumbing for Charter Hall or whatever.
Yeah, a little
but usually housekeepers are to one particular person.
Yeah.
Not to unless you're renting a service where you only have a housekeeper for an hour. And they do multiple jobs.
So does Doskvol have anything like
probably a public thing like a lamplighter? I like that.
Yeah, like those types of people.
Because they see people's routines.
The lampblacks they don't have lamplighters anymore because the cities are lit by electric lights. Yeah, the lampblacks are actually their crew was formed when the lamplighters went out of business, and it's what they made.
So they go around and knock out street lights.
They do have
hooligans.
There so there is a crew known as the sparkwrights though, whose responsibility it is to keep those electric lights running and keep the lightning towers running. And Charter Hall actually contains Charter Hall University, which is where where sparkwrights are trained. So sparkwrights are a tier 4 gang.
Why are they a gang? They sound like they'd be more like a guild or
they're a guild. They're a guild, but they're a tier 4 guild.
I think
gang is like
every association in this world
is
labeled a gang because
you can get on
they behave effectively like one.
Yeah.
And everybody takes part in some amount of illicit dealings.
Right. Tier 4 gang, which means they're kind of dangerous to go for. However, because this informant space is so close to your original lair square, I'm going to say that this is an informant who's already informing for the.
We're not dead yet.
Let's go with the Foghounds.
All right, good. Because Tier 4 sounds out of our reach.
Or no, Wraiths sounds better. The Wraiths are going to be a better choice for this. So the Wraiths are a group of thieves who recently rose up in Doskvol. They're suspicious characters. They're the thieving type, kind of like you guys are. And you've heard that they have this informant named.
Suspicious.
Well, they're suspicious because nobody really knows much about them.
Okay.
They're Wraiths.
Wait, sorry. I know you're describing.
Mm-hmm.
Does Nick know enough about his enemy to know whether or not she is a part of a gang? Or if she's a sole...
Oh, yeah, my rival thief?
Because if you're talking
That's
about...
up to you.
If you're talking about a gang that is just thieves,
mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, what's the overlap of what his rival could be a part of? If she's a solo dolo.
I feel like
no, she's definitely she's like a solo Catwoman.
Yeah.
So she probably vexes a lot of these people, not just him.
Okay, so that's actually probably good for us.
And it's mind-boggling.
If she's not a part of
great
this
a
group,
thief she is.
Then I don't want us to
Her name is Kara.
Get into a situation already where it's oh, your enemies.
What?
Now you have to work with them basically immediately.
And I'm okay.
So there's this.
She ends the turn and
Exactly.
we start a new game.
Yeah.
There's this guy by the name of Arkady, who is a sparkwright in Charter Hall. He's part of the group of sparkwrights there who's responsible for keeping the lamps on. But he's been informing to the Wraiths about comings and goings of the various ministry people, magistrates, and various city hall folks who live in Charter Hall about that time, and in Six Towers. So he knows this info, and he's already been pushed to the point where he will give up information because the Wraiths are squeezing it for him. So you guys, through hearing this through the grapevine, realize that he'd be the perfect target for flipping and getting on your side to inform for you guys instead.
Should have taken sway.